Hello and welcome to this Astranti YouTube video taking a look at qualifications required to become a legal executive. This is part of our video series looking at the overarching ultimate guide to becoming a legal executive. And in this specific video, we're going to look at the qualifications and things that you should look out for when choosing a suitable supplier. And if you do like this video, please like and subscribe, and also visit our website www.astranti.com for more advice and more information. So, as we have seen in this video series, the Chartered Institute of Legal Executive, or CILEX qualifications, are the most recognized legal executive qualifications within the legal industry in the United Kingdom. And the highest level of the CILEX qualification actually grants the same rights of audience as a solicitor, albeit within a specific field of law. Now, there are numerous CILEX qualifications, but the most traditional standard route is what they call the CILEX Professional Qualification, otherwise known as the CPQ, and there are three distinct levels within the CPQ. Now, there are alternatives. You can qualify as a paralegal using a paralegal apprenticeship, and you can actually qualify as a CILEX lawyer using a CILEX lawyer apprenticeship as well. There are also fast-track qualifications for those of you that have law degrees that can help give you a real head start on the traditional three-tier qualifications. So the CPQ is broken down as follows. You have the CILEX Diploma in Law. That is the entry level, the first level qualification, and that is where you learn the fundamentals. So there is a set lineup of units and modules in that to give you an understanding of the legal background and legal requirements, legal practice skills, legal research skills, etc. You then specialize once you get onto the higher levels. So once you move on to your CILEX Advanced Diploma in Law and Practice, you start picking the specific areas of law that you want to specialize in. So this is the difference between a legal executive and a solicitor. A solicitor has a much larger breadth of knowledge because they study all aspects of the law, whereas legal executives study a specific area. So this is where you narrow down to the choices that you want to pursue in your career, such as criminal law, family law, employment law, contract law, etc. And then once you have completed that, you move on to your professional diploma, and that's the highest level. Again, that's where you specialize even further. You just study a couple of units, but to a very, very high standard. And that, coupled with your qualifying employment, should then allow you to become a fully qualified member of the Chartered Institute of Legal Executives. Now, what you might be wondering is how much these qualifications are going to cost. Now, for the standard CPQ, the breakdown is as followed, and this includes both the cost of undertaking the course and also your student membership per year with CILEX. So you have to pay for the course, but then you have to pay for your CILEX membership as well, and you pay CILEX to undertake the exam. So it's significantly cheaper than training to become a solicitor, as I'm going to come on to in a moment, but it is certainly not free. So these are things that you need to be aware of. And if it is going to be prohibitive, then perhaps you could look at alternatives such as undertaking an apprenticeship, because an apprenticeship doesn't have any cost to yourself. If you want more information on apprenticeships, please visit our website. But do bear in mind that in order to undertake training through an apprenticeship, you must be employed in a specific role. You must be employed in a role where you are acting and working as a paralegal within the legal field. You cannot self-study when you're not employed in the legal field like you can with the standard CILEX qualification. You must already be in employment. So the average cost for the CILEX CPQ from start to finish, including your CILEX student membership fees, is around about £13,000. It's about £4,000 for the foundational level, £6,000 for the advanced level, and £3,000 for the professional level. Now, of course, if you are undertaking the graduate fast track, if you have a qualifying law degree, then you can reduce this cost significantly because you will start essentially at a midpoint of the advanced level. So it's far cheaper to qualify through the fast track route, but of course you will have had to have gone to university, potentially got student debt, etc. from that. So given the cost, again, you might be thinking, well, can your employer pay for it? Now, one of the advantages of studying for the Chartered Legal Executive qualifications with CILEX is that they can pay for your cost of training. In fact, over 60% of students that have undertaken the CILEX CPQ have had either all or at least some of their course fees covered by their employer. So unlike training to be a solicitor where you have to go to university, where employers aren't going to pay for your university costs, etc., generally, in over 60% of the cases, your employer, provided you are employed in a relevant field, can cover the cost of your training fees. So another reason why training as a legal executive can be very cost effective, particularly given that the actual salary you can earn once you're an experienced legal executive is not really much lower than a qualified solicitor will earn. And on that note, just going to look at the cost to train the legal executive versus the solicitor. Now, as you might expect, the cost to train as a legal executive is significantly cheaper, with an average of around about £13,000, and you have a very good chance that your employer will cover some or even all of your course fees. Whereas when you train to be a solicitor, you have to attend university, you have to earn a law degree, so that's a Bachelor of Laws, LLB, and this can cost around £27,000. Now, if you haven't got a law degree, if you've got a BA, if you've got a BSc, etc., even if it's a BA in law, it's still not a qualifying law degree. It has to be a Bachelor's of Laws, LLB. So if you don't have that law degree, you have to undertake a one-year conversion course, and that can cost up to a further £10,000. You then need to undertake your solicitor qualifying exams, which can cost between £10,000 and £15,000, before you get your training contract, where you are then starting your work experience, you are starting your qualifying employment. So before you have even got a job and started learning to become a solicitor, the actual role of becoming a solicitor, you may have spent over £57,000 or £47,000. If your SQE is going to be £15,000, you're over £50,000. Whereas when training to become a legal executive, you can get a job at the start, you can earn whilst you learn, and potentially have your employer pay for your fees of studying. So it is very much cheaper to train to be a legal executive versus a solicitor, which again used to make more sense because solicitors used to have a lot more respect, used to earn a lot more, but that gap is narrowing, and it's only continuing to narrow between legal executives and solicitors. So if you have decided to become a legal executive, if you do want to pursue a career as a legal executive, and you're now thinking, how am I actually going to get started with earning my CPQ qualification or undertaking my apprenticeship, what sorts of things do I need to look out for when selecting a legal executive course? Well, whilst it is cheaper than qualifying as a solicitor, as we've discussed, and your employer may pay for some of it, they may not. You may need to pay for it. You may need to pay for it out of your own pocket. And so it's really important that you choose a provider that's really going to help you excel as a legal executive, that's going to help you pass your exam. So any old provider may not cut it. You need to find one that is going to give you the skills, that is going to give you the knowledge, that is going to really help you to not just pass your exam, but allow you to effectively apply what you're learning in the workplace. So we've got a few key tips here for finding a provider that is going to give you what you need to pass your exams. So the first thing that you should do, and I recommend you do, is to find a company approved by CILEX. Not anyone can just sell CILEX courses and say they are selling CILEX courses. You have to be an approved provider by CILEX themselves, who have very rigorous acceptance standards. You have to prove that you are a very capable body. You have to prove that the tutors that you have are of a certain standard. You have to have proven a track record of success, just to be approved by CILEX to offer CILEX courses. Now, CILEX themselves has a list of approved providers on their website. So I'd recommend that that is the place that you go, at least in the first instance, to look at approved CILEX providers, to make sure you're getting one that is approved by CILEX themselves, that has met those rigorous standards. You should then look for one that is an expert at simplifying these legal concepts. Law is not necessarily as difficult as it looks, and that's because there's a lot of complex terminology involved. So you want an organization that is providing materials that's breaking those legal concepts down, that is explaining them in a logical, simplified way so that you can digest it, so that you can learn it effectively, so that you can apply it effectively. You don't just learn the terms, you don't just learn the textbook knowledge, you actually learn how to use this information as a qualified legal executive. The third thing that you should look out for is look for a company that has tutors with real-world experience. What I mean by this is not just tutors that have qualified as tutors and qualified to teach material, but are former or current legal executives, former or current solicitors that are trained in the work, trained in the knowledge, but have the real-world practical experience that they can pass on. Because there's a big difference from, this is a legal concept, here is what it means, and this is a legal concept, here is what it's used for in a law firm. Here's how you would apply this day to day in a law firm. Here's some examples of how I used to apply this day to day in a law firm. That really brings the subject to life, but also helps you to use it, to apply it. Because getting a qualification for the sake of getting a qualification doesn't really matter if you're not going to actually use it to improve your performance as a legal executive in the workplace. So those are our three main tips for finding a suitable CILEX training provider if you have chosen to go down this route. And if you have decided, then please do let us know. We do have a very comprehensive course for CILEX, for the CPQ, all three levels, also the fast track, the legal practice certificates, and the apprenticeships as well. So if you are really interested, you want to find out more, you want to go through the practicalities of undertaking this course, or if you're just curious and want to know more information about the industry, about the role of being a legal executive, about the body itself, then by all means, please do give us a call or drop us an email. We'd be happy to help. And if you have enjoyed this video, and if you've enjoyed this video series, please do like and subscribe, as we're going to be producing a lot more over the coming months, including information about the profession, about opportunities within the profession, more qualifications that are on offer, more exam boards, and also the course content itself and actual theories and topics that we're going to cover as well and produce videos for. So please like and subscribe, and also visit our website www.astranti.com for more information. So thank you very much for watching, and we'd love to hear from you. So please give us a call.